So listen here, my very tiny baby boy.
Would it be so bad if an 84-year-old got into heroin?
Welcome to the Cat Organizational Podcast.
You idiot. It's written down in front of you idiot.
This is like the buffalo chicken wrap of answers.
I haven't heard about hot orcs in a while.
We were so horny for motion controls in 2005.
I can't wait to come back and tell you how it was Noah's Ark, you asshole.
I would also like to retroactively say I've never had cotton candy acid.
So Andrew's 100% doing a voice, right?
Everybody get off my IMDb now. Time to record.
This episode and probably this whole podcast is a mistake.
Hello and welcome to Debate This, the show where no one is right, but someone is definitely wrong. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comics, video games, and how in 2020, the war of subs versus dubs has finally been won by dubs. And that is strictly because I can't read subtitles while I'm pretending to complete my quarterly accrual spreadsheets. That joke was for me and me alone.
I forget what I was trying to watch recently while doing other work, but it had subtitles, and I was like, half an hour has gone by. I don't know what I just watched because I'm working. Like
I don't think I've watched anything. Very rarely have I watched something without doing something else. Like even just like innately being on my phone.
Oh, yeah. Since I was 10 years old, that's been my.
Right.
I haven't watched TV without also my Game Boy playing in my lap. And to this day, I still play Switch while I watch
I have
TV.
to do 3 things at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or I get nervous about what I'm not doing.
Yeah, because then you're alone with your thoughts.
I have to activate at least 3 of my senses, and TV only gets sight and sound, so I've got to touch something.
Right. Well, so guys, here's the deal. I like JRPGs and I like anime. You know that about me.
What?
I think if
You too?
Who are you and what have you done with Andrew?
Right, if you're to boil my personality down to the core elements, it's probably that. Now,
that
unfortunately,
and everything nice is what makes the Andrew version of the Powerpuff Girls.
Right. Now, unfortunately, my penchant for Naruto running to go grab my instant ramen has led to a series of events where I accidentally Naruto ran into the school bully and then spilled lava hot chicken water all over Brad Jettington's new camo cargo shorts. That's a very specific thing.
Lava hot chicken water.
And now we're in a situation where Brad Jettington is going to beat me up after school tomorrow. Also, I'm 15 and also in high school, and life is 100% a nightmare.
We really switched the order of how we do these intros, because usually we set up a bunch of shit about the game and then give the weird headspace that we're playing in. And today it was headspace, nothing about the game. So where are we going, Andrew? I'm sure I'm going to love it.
We aren't talking about a game, Matt. We're helping Andrew with his bully.
Andrew pissed off. What's his name? What did we say? Brad Jettington. We have to help him out.
Yeah, that's what's most important here. So audience, faithful listeners, I've decided to do what any wishy-washy, horny teen male insert protagonist in an anime would do, which is, of course, call upon fantastical gods from another realm to help me deal with normal high school problems. And there's no better pool of gods to choose from than the roster of summoned monsters from the Final Fantasy series.
I would watch this anime.
This
I'm
anime
pretty sure exists.
This anime is real. I have things to say, but I'll wait until it's my time to talk first.
This whole thing has just gone so far off the rails. This whole ass podcast
I think this
gone.
is my favorite premise and my favorite topic. And
Can we go back to talking about Yoshis and colors?
Nope.
I miss Yoshis and colors.
Nope.
Back in simpler days.
This is very much a video game in the same realm as Yoshi, Matt, and you have to deal with that reality.
You're a professional podcaster, Matt. You have to play in all spaces equally. That's the rule. All right, so here's the flimsy setup. In order to enter a pact with the otherworldly being from the ethereal plane, naturally, I need a signature from a parent or guardian. So I've called in my 3 dads to help me select a deity to exact vengeance on my bully. Allow me to introduce to you all Todd, Lord of Revel, Thomas, Kyle, Lord of the Hive, Harper, and Matt, Lord of the Crags, Cole.
My 3 dads was my favorite TGIF lineup TV show.
Isn't this that show that has Charlie Sheen and
Yeah.
that other guy and that one kid? This is that show, right?
2.5
It's-
horny men.
That's effectively that show.
Yeah.
Since no one asked, what are our names?
What the titles? Yeah. So the titles are Final Fantasy summons. They're taken from Final Fantasy 14. All of the bosses, all of the big raid bosses are classic summon monsters from older Final Fantasy games. And they all have cool titles like that. So Todd, you are Susano from the second expansion Stormblood.
Wasn't that the Pokemon that was like the icy wind wolf?
I got that time.
Suicune, right? Wasn't that
Suicune.
Suicune.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
murdered
He's
that.
water,
Got
yeah.
it. Thanks, Matt.
I think actually Susano. No. Lord of the Hive is Lord of the Hive was what's his name? He was in Heaven's Ward. I forgot his name. Ravana. That's it. Ravana, which is he's like a bug samurai.
And that's the band
Nice.
that Kurt Cobain was the front man of.
Good. And then Matt is Lord of the Crags is Titan, which is probably the most classic of the three that I named.
I know, like, Craig's is spelled like Craig's the synonym for mountains and
Wait,
rocks.
Craig.
No, it's Lord of Craigs.
Matt is Lord of guys named Craig.
Matt is Lord of the guy from my high school who would collect cigarette butts out of the trash because he was 14 and wanted to smoke.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's disgusting. I don't want to unpack that, but that, ugh. As soon as
Yeah.
that sentence you just said processed, my tongue
Man,
spit out.
That feels like the right headspace we need to get into for this episode. There.
We're there.
We're doing a Final Fantasy episode, guys. Aren't you so excited?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to save until I answered. We've done this podcast now for, is this like our third year? And
Yeah, more or less.
we're just now letting Andrew take the reins into a whole hog Final Fantasy episode. And we didn't try and stop him, is the thing. He posed the question, we're like, hey, that's pretty good. And I'm just now realizing it now that we're trapped here.
We
Yeah,
held
what
off
we've done.
we held off for 3 years. We ran into this nice little pickle where we didn't have any more episodes planned. And
Yeah, all you motherfuckers were moving.
And Andrew was like, Andrew saw his moment and took it.
Mhm.
Because that's a box we can't put the lid back on now. Like, we're gonna just be a Final Fantasy podcast now.
This is the episode where we jumped the shark. All right, well, let's get into it. Dad, parentheses, S and parentheses.
Look at me. Look at me. I am your dad now.
I, 15-year-old Andrew Henderson,
I call middle
Need-
spoon.
I need to call upon the extraplanar support from a Final Fantasy summon. But as you know, I only have one available slot to equip Magicite. So, I need each of you to tell me who you think is the best summon from the Final Fantasy series to beat up Brad Jeddington. Tell me who they are, what their main attack or signature power is, and tell me what game they're from. We'll start with Todd.
I have an important question before Todd goes. Does Brad
Yes, Father
Jeddington
Kyle.
does Brad Jeddington wear cut off flannel? Like a sleeveless flannel?
This is like 2005. So
okay.
He's probably got like a Korn t-shirt.
Okay, good. I'm in the right headspace now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to say before we start, Kyle, if you take middle spoon, that means you also have to ride in our car that has like just the waist only seatbelts in the middle. So you are most prone to either be ejected or broken in half. So just be ready for that.
That's fine.
Well, you see, son,
Yes,
I
Dad?
too have dealt with bullies with pointy hair and large pants and lots of belts back in my day. So I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. You see, my small boy, when the going gets tough, you just gotta call your mom to help. Now I know what you're thinking. I
don't think this is the move.
No,
Dad.
I know what you're thinking. Dad, how can mom help banish my enemies with vengeance? Well, you see,
I think that literally every day.
well, you see, I'm gonna teach you how to summon our 10-story tall, restrained by a hellish chains monster, or chains mother, Anima, from Final Fantasy X, and then other additional Final Fantasy appearances to name here. So,
Oh yeah, I forgot Todd says the game's name like it's Mega Man X.
because it's Final Fantasy X and I put X in my notes, so that makes sense. Probably did it elsewhere. Not going to control F now. Now, you may be confused after all this, and also be saying, Dad, what does this have to do with Mom? Or, Dad, you can't smoke inside this McDonald's play place. But Anima, they actually is summoned through the sacrifice of my old bully from Final Fantasy X named Seymour. It's Seymour's mother. And so, she loved him a lot, and part of Final Fantasy X's plot had to do with people sacrificing themselves as a means of controlling summons or some bullshit. I don't care to get into it. Is that close enough? Good.
Yeah, that's pretty right.
I don't think Matt or Kyle or our listeners need any more exposition.
Nope.
So because of that, and because of the way that Final Fantasy works, since I fought and beat him, I can now summon her. So it's kind of like Anima is all of our moms collectively, and you can summon her. Now you see my very small son. You're just gonna need to
15,
do
Todd.
is
Small.
No.
I'm scrawny, I would imagine. I look like I haven't eaten very much.
You see my small, malnourished son. All you're going to need to do is just cast down a massive grappling hook from the heavens to drag Anima up from her eternal slumber. So that's all you're going to need to do, just to summon her into your confrontation with this Jeddington boy. And once you do, her terribly disfigured body will emerge partially above the surface to punish that little shit. And namely with her attack named Pain, which, and I'm quoting from the wiki, will just straight up instantly kill anyone who isn't immune to it. Now, I would bet my 1974 varsity jacket that I still occasionally wear that Jeddington doesn't have immunity to old Anima's pain.
The last that I looked at his character reference card,
Yeah.
his only immunities were to poison and confuse.
Excellent. Yeah, this is gonna murder Jeddington. We are committing murder with this 10-story tall demon mummy clamshell monster that we are going to pull out of
One of those
the
four
depths of
nouns
hell.
is not like the other.
Yeah, but if you look at the image, I'm not wrong. So yeah, we are today. I'm teaching you, my very frail son, how to summon Anima, your demon ghost mom.
Demon Ghost Mom. All right, awesome. So Dad number one wants me to exact vengeance by literally inflicting pain on Brad. I like that.
That is what my mug actually says. It says Dad number one.
Dad number one.
You gave
Yeah,
it to
well,
me.
you are one. You are number one dads in my book right now. So
That's-
let's go to Dad number two, Kyle.
That's the poop dad.
Oh, he hasn't given his argument yet. So
I don't
we'll see.
Damn it, Todd. I mean, you're the one subscribing enemas to this bully,
Nope.
Todd.
Nope.
That would make you the poop dad, I think.
Got him.
Andrew, my boy. Bullies are all about that easy target. So we've got to show
What are you
Brad.
saying, Dad?
Well, you haven't shown that you aren't an easy target yet. So we gotta show Brad that you aren't gonna take this lying down. So I want you to meet this kid after school, look him in the eye, tell him you have no interest in fighting, and if he does, he'll regret it. And if he insists on fighting, wait till he swings at you and unleash the righteous wrath of my very good friends, the Knights of the Round. Brad is going to very quickly learn that messing with you or any other kid at this school is going to be quickly met by the 13 Knights of Arthurian legend, doling out some medieval justice, one by one, to make sure that that lesson is really driven home. And after everyone sees how you deal with people who want to hurt you, you'll be able to walk around that school like a king. A king, Andrew.
Now, Father Kyle, Dad.
Yes,
Kyle, Dad.
yes,
Kyle,
son,
Dad
Andrew.
number two. I think this is really cool. Like, so we've got, in one corner, we've got a demon hellspawn, but in another corner, I've got the Knights of the Round Table. Like, that's
Yeah.
pretty rad.
Yeah, you've got your own posse behind you, ready to just
Yeah.
mess with Brad or anyone else who wants to give you
Which
grief.
is really
Just
cool.
provoke fights with whoever.
Now I've been at the center of a bunch of bullies just kicking me while I'm on the ground before, and the only thing that I recollect from that, it does take a long time. So how long? Help me understand. Like, how long is it going to take for these Knights of Arthurian Legend to cut down Brad? Because I need a swift entrance.
What does this Persona 5 beatdown actually look like, Kyle?
So Andrew, I'm glad you asked. So they are going to, one at a time, use their individual weapons to strike at Brad. And those weapons, I know you're curious about, include things like we've got a lance, we've got a rod that casts fire magic,
Shit.
one of them's got a hammer, we got a trident.
A trident.
Who showed up with that and was like,
a battle axe, and then the last one actually is going to do the final strike with Excalibur, the mythic sword of legend. So
wow.
Yeah, Brad isn't gonna be messing with you anytime soon.
He'll probably be super dead.
He won't be happy. That's for sure.
Now, what if like Brad gets murdered by the first guy, and then the hammer, he's just hammering just bloody pulp? Like, what do I do then?
Well, I mean, you don't have Brad to worry about anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, like
That's true. Okay.
We're solving your Brad problem. Now your murder problem we'll talk about when that comes up.
Okay. Well,
cross that bridge when we get there.
We're solving your Brad problem. You're gonna have to deal with your rad problem on your own.
Well, like we do, Father Kyle, we'll check one box at a time.
Exactly.
All right, awesome. Well, I've got 2 rockstar dads. Let's see how dad number 3 is able to return the favor.
All right, listen here, son. Like most dads, I have no idea what these modern day video games are that my kids enjoy. And by that, I mean, I don't know shit about shit when it comes to Final Fantasy. I spent about an hour scrolling through the Final Fantasy wiki, and let me tell you, much like when I drive my girlfriend to Target, I was scared, overwhelmed, and I just wanted to get out of there. All of that said, while I know nothing about Final Fantasy or their 75 different games, I know plenty of things about being a small nerd in high school about to be whomped on by someone much larger than you, and like all good dads, I'm going to give you some very important advice. The best way to beat a bully is with strong defensive tactics that will embarrass the bully in front of the whole school. And with that, I would like to introduce you to my new favorite video game character and literally the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, Carbuncle.
Oh, Carbuncle. She, they are so cute.
So this adorable little cat fox fairy nymph thing is a wonderful fluff of joy with a giant red gemstone in its forehead. If I read the wiki right, which I'm like a conservative 45% sure that I did, this little rascal has been in 31 Final Fantasy games. I think.
Shit.
What?
I think his first appearance was in 5. I don't know if that matters. He's also in the remake of 7, so like that's what's important, right? Its main ability is Ruby
He's
Light.
DLC in 7 Remake.
Sure, I don't know. Its main ability is Ruby Light, which is, from what I've come to understand, a defensive support ability that usually casts Reflect, but sometimes also casts Protect, Counter, or Shell, which are definitely just synonyms of Reflect, and also sometimes Haste, Warp, Heal, and a whole slew of other things. Also, there's something in this wiki about Blood Pact abilities. I don't understand Final Fantasy.
That's Final Fantasy 11. Don't worry about it.
Noted.
It just move on.
But to conclude, Carbuncle is the best, and I love him, and he's absolutely the solution to the beatdown Brad Jennington is planning for your wimpy little nerd body.
So, okay. So
Did you know a
this
carbuncle is
interesting.
also a collection of boils on your skin? Because that's the first thing that came up when I searched that term.
The artwork of Carbuncle varies greatly.
It really
Yes.
does, yes.
I was explaining to some of these guys, so we'll take a step out of this theme for a second. I was explaining to these guys, for people that don't play Final Fantasy or don't know a lot about it, it's very much like The Legend of Zelda in that Final Fantasy doesn't have one distinct storyline. Every game is its own universe, its own characters, its own world, but it uses the same kind of like motifs and elements and names of things and remixes them. It's much like, you know, the Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker are 2 very different stories, but there's a hook shot, there's a bow and arrow, like
Yes.
there's a Link, there's a Zelda. So it uses a lot of the same things and then just constantly is remixing them. And summons are probably like one of the biggest examples of this. So summons are like there are the real popular summons like Ifrit and Shiva and Odin and Ramu. They're like in almost every single Final Fantasy. They always look a little different. There's like a core, and then with more graphics there's more particle effects and zippers. But they're all marginally the same. Yeah. So that's why though.
If you would have put a picture of Carbuncle in the like artwork that shows all of Eevee's evolution, you would have never known.
Todd would have been unable to distinguish them.
Before this moment, you could have put it in there and been like, this is a Sword and Shield evolution. I'd been like, fuck yeah, it is. Yeah, this is it. That's great. That's great.
Carbuncle is definitely the most Pokemon of all the summons. Okay, back to scene. So this is an interesting argument. So Rad Dads 1 and 2 want me to either extract the soul from my tormentor or just beat it to a bloody pulp. But Rad Dad number 3 is taking a different approach. He's taking the more like Homer Simpson boxer, just keep taking hits until the bully gets tired. So that's what you're sticking to, is just kind of curl up into a ball and just take the punches like a man.
Well, I have some more details, but I was under the impression that was the answer to question 2, and I don't want to spoil my argument like Todd did 4 hours ago. So
let's get into question 2. How about that? Oh crap!
He says,
completely unprompted.
Dwight, you ignorant slut. That's what that delivery was.
Yep. I just saw on popular social media that only teens are aware of that Brad Jeddington comes from a long line of demon hunters.
Oh!
By day, he's a normal high school student, but by night, he's fighting vampires and werewolves and demons, all while trying to find love. I need to make sure my summon can hold their own, so prove to me that your chosen summon is stronger than the other two.
I like at this high school, there is not only the kid who secretly has access to the Final Fantasy summons who is getting bullied, but also the bully that is secretly Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yep.
In the same high school.
This is generic anime fight school. So
that's fair.
Everyone has a
thing,
an alternate reality.
Yeah, everyone's got a bit.
Yeah, deal.
All right. So listen here, my very tiny baby boy. Jeddington, Jeddington may have like a souped up truck that is customized in snow camo, but he doesn't have the ability to withstand our dear sweet mother's attack called Oblivion. You see, I'm just gonna paint a picture for you real quick. Sorry, are you ready? Are you ready for this picture I'm gonna paint?
Yeah, please. I mean, you said Oblivion, so holy shit.
Oh, yeah, get ready. So Jeddington, he's gonna roll up on you, and he's gonna roll up on you right. And so he's gonna be there, and he's ready to take you directly to Punch Island. But oh wait, what's that? Well, here comes your skyscraper of an eldritch horror mom breaching out of the ground like a demon whale. Well, she's going to quite literally drag him straight to hell. And then,
I like that.
Then once he does, you think that's bad enough. Well, underneath the surface, she's going to release the bottom half of her cat dog-like demon form that is just hidden out of our eyesight. Likely because it would probably drive us insane to feast our mortal human eyes upon it. But down there underneath the surface, there's this like withered witch form that is just waiting to break free from its infernal chains and unleash a fury of punches straight into the unloved, generously sideburned face of Chad over and over until we release his mortal coil into the ether. So, you had already said he's only immune to poison. This is not a poison attack. This is a drag you literally to hell and then punch you until you die.
Which proves a unique challenge for Jad Breddington. What is his name?
Chad Breddington.
Chad Breddington, the Demon Slayer. So to get completely out, I have fully become the villain. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, it's like
Dad.
Brad's the villain, unless you gave him good reason to come kick your ass. Did you give Brad a good reason to come kick your ass? Are we the bad guys?
Are you victim blaming our son, Todd?
Our collective son.
What a shitty thing to ask your one and only frail son.
Our frail, malnourished,
your frail, malnourished, pale-skinned son.
our
Looks
our
like-
paper thin skinned
Yeah.
son.
Glass bones and paper skinned son.
Yeah, so that's your skyscraper demon mom is just gonna drag him beneath the surface, which sounds bad enough as it is, but beneath the surface of Anima is this like caged up demon witch that breaks free and then just punches the bad guys. So that's what's gonna happen to Brad, Brad and Chad.
Chad
I like that
Braddington.
every weird thing Todd describes Anima doing, Andrew's just like nodding along, like, "Yep, that's right. That's 100% what that does. I'm familiar with it."
I wish I could be surprised.
My favorite description when I was thinking about how to describe it, because like I don't know, unless you two or the listeners go and look up what Anima looks like, you don't necessarily see the bottom half that comes out for the special attack. So me calling it a cat dog demon monster feels real
That was
right.
my favorite. I think cat dog should be used as an adjective more.
real
I
cat
agree.
dog situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna
Okay.
again just more murder of this Chad fella, by using forbidden dark magic.
So Bad Dad wants to literally drag Brad Jeddington to hell. Rad
Well,
Dad, what are we doing?
Real quick, you can't
Yeah.
expect to summon your demon mother using a hook that falls from the heavens without summoning something to hell. Like you just reasonably can't do one without the other.
You know what, Todd? You're right.
I appreciate
100% right.
Yeah.
This is one of those arguments that, as much as I hate everything you're saying, I know it's all game lore, and I can't argue it, and it really is upsetting me.
Rad Dad, Kyle.
Well, Andrew, small son, frail boy Andrew.
Yeah.
I don't
His
know.
last name is Smallson.
I'm so sickly.
I don't know how Bad Dad Todd is going to think sending a demon in to fight a demon hunter is going to play out. But I'm
With
going to
punching, mostly.
it. But we're gonna go with a different route. So even if Jeddington is this star demon hunter, awesome at combat, and is able to take out the first knight of the round, he's still got 12 more to deal with. So I'm not too worried about these 13 knights of legend having to take out one demon hunter. Because you know what? They're probably demon hunters themselves. These are badass guys. So the thing with the knights of the round, they ignore all defenses. So if Brad throws up some of his wards, puts on some protection spells, these guys are going to cut right through it like a broadsword through butter and just form a kicking circle of righteousness around Brad.
Very good. Like a broadsword through butter.
For having the audacity to bully kids with holy buffs up, like who does that? So they're going to make sure he feels the pain. Because these guys can also have a max damage output of 129,978 damage, which I'm
Holy
assuming
shit.
is a lot.
That sounds a big
But I
number.
don't know
Yeah.
enough about Final
Holy shit.
Fantasy.
Well, Brad Jeddington is notorious for being an HP sponge, but holy shit.
So I think after all 13 of them are finished with Brad, no matter how badass of a demon hunter he is, he's gonna feel the hurt and probably want to leave you alone.
Okay. Rad Dad for the win there. Okay. Lad Dad.
I was waiting. I was like, I
Sad
wonder what-
Dad? Did you say Sad Dad?
I was gonna go with Mad
Lad
Dad.
No, it's Lad Dad because
Lad Dad.
Matt was born in 2005, which is what the time period we're talking about.
This bit is so stupid.
Mad Dad, let's do it. Hit me with that sweet ruby light.
Okay, so couple of things to note here. Thing one, I'm not going to say that Carbuncle is stronger than the other two summons because I don't think that that's true. Also, I have no idea how to measure strength in this game series.
Fair.
What I do know is that Carbuncle is objectively better than these other summons for the task at hand, which is May I remind you, protecting your fragile little weeb husk from getting deleted by actual demon-slaying, hopeless romantic, and high school quarterback Brad Jennington. That leads me to my second important thing. You, my very small, very weeby little boy, are not an actual demon-slaying, hopeless romantic or a high school quarterback. You are a daydreaming wimpy kid who has self-inserted himself into an anime only you have seen. And the Final Fantasy wiki tells me that in order to earn the allegiance and the rights to summon a summon, you must best the summoned monster in battle. And I, for one, firmly believe that you, my very scrawny podcast boy, could not best Anima or the Knights of Round in
He's
battle.
making it real.
But you may have a chance against this adorable little fox cat I found eating out of our trash cans. My final point here is that, again, the best way to beat a bully is to embarrass them so badly they have to transfer to a different school. And Carbuncle is literally the magic version of why are you hitting yourself? It doesn't matter how strong your summon is, if Brad Jennington is wailing a reflective shield and continues to punch his own stupid face, he's going to probably get real upset and everyone will laugh at him and you'll never hear from him again.
You know what's also really embarrassing, though, Matt? Getting your ass beat by 13 grown men.
Or getting literally drug into hell and punched a lot.
Yeah, again, in order to summon a summon, you have to beat that summon.
I went through this. I already kicked Seymour's ass back in 1982, and so I'm just passing it along.
The dads.
Now, Kyle did not fight 13 grown-ass men.
We, the dads, have already mastered these summons, Matt. We are lending them to our small, frail podcast boy,
No,
Andrew.
I don't think that's how summons work, Kyle. No, I don't think. I think if you wanted your son to use your summon, you have to go with your son and become part of his party and use the summon yourself. And if you, Kyle,
I think it depends
hold
on the
on,
game.
Andrew, I'm not done.
I'm the moderator and your son.
if yes,
in that order.
So listen, Kyle, if you show up to a schoolyard with 13 grown men and tell those 13 grown men to beat up a boy, you're going to get arrested. And I'm not trying to get arrested as a dad. I'm trying to help my son survive high school.
In my defense, Brad Jennington is probably an 18-year-old about to graduate high school senior quarterback demon hunter, which makes it a little bit less illegal for this beatdown to happen.
In my mind, what it is that the Knights of the Round are actually Kyle's friends that he drinks with, King of the Hill style, in the back alley behind our collective house. And
then just my sword collection that I handed out to them on the way to school.
He's like, hey, okay, you get the sword, you get the fire wand, you get the trident. I don't
It's
know.
his buddies at the Elks Lodge.
Well, let me conclude by saying this, that I have clearly given you better advice than Todd and Kyle, because everyone knows that if you try to beat up a bully, you either become the bully, or that bully brings back his much larger bully friends and pulverizes your puny person to remind you of your place on this planet. And you don't want to do that, now do you?
To be fair, though, he is in hell.
Matt is just here to remind you there's a pecking order, and you will abide by it, because that's how we keep law and order in this country.
I think a couple points that I do want to origin.
Oh, get fucked! I'm already over this.
I like to think that Kyle got the reins of Knights Around because he bred a gold chocobo by spending 100 hours in the gold saucer racing
I hate
chocobos.
this. Keep going.
And Todd was correct in that he made a pact by sacrificing his late wife's soul.
Well, in the real story, because again, like, to listeners, to do research for this, we just dive real deep into YouTube videos and wiki pages. Seymour's mom wanted Seymour to be a good guy and was like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself so my son can summon a good thing to help him fight. And Seymour's like, nah, I want to be down with sin because sin is the bad thing and I'm gonna do that. And so she sacrificed herself, and she's in her permanent tomb hanging around Anima's neck. It's metal and terrible. Oh, and that tomb that's hanging around Anima's neck is there being held up by small arms that are choking Anima. Everything is horrifying about this summon.
Yeah, that game is a nightmare.
We
talked about
awful.
Sin. That was one of our very early episodes. We talked about Sin.
That's almost as bad as the image you put in our shared document, Todd.
It's a It's a carbuncle cosplay.
Carbuncle cosplay, which we were recently reminded in our Patreon that we're going to share these a lot more because we want you to see the terrible things that we make each other see.
Yes.
Yeah. And one more, actually, reflect doesn't affect physical attacks, only magical ones.
Is
Fuck
this the
this
worst
whole
thing you've
stupid
ever dealt
podcast.
with?
I
Matt, this is the
hate
worst
this.
thing.
This whole idea is dumb. This episode is stupid. Fuck this.
I hate
dads.
you guys, and I'm going home.
Bad dad, mad dad, and rad dad.
Me and Waka are taking our blitz ball and we're going home.
Each of the three of you always tell me in your own way about how back in your day you could just, summon an eidolon as a single action, and after a lengthy 90-second cutscene, it would just do a bunch of damage and then disappear into thin air.
Oh,
you
it was
know
the
how
best.
you always talk about that?
It was incredible.
Man,
I
that's
think it's
when
I think it's Eidolon too, but we're not here to talk about that.
back in simpler days.
Don't fucking actually me, Kyle. I am your son and the resident expert here. Well, nowadays, y'all, when you summon them, they just stick around until they get killed or until a meter runs out, which takes like very, very, very long. And if I get caught with a murder demon god, I will definitely get detention. So how am I supposed to sneak this D&D in and out of school?
Well, listen,
Go ahead, Todd. I'm really excited to hear about how you're gonna hide this 10-foot demon or 10-story demon monster.
Okay, I've got some very, very bad news, my very small, very frail, quite sickly infant child, Andrew. You may find this hard to believe, but subtlety is not Anima's strong suit. But through some critical thinking, I do think we have some options. So at first I was thinking, we could try and cover old Anima up with some brush and some branches. Just kind of like hide her out in the woods, Like, that's an option. Sure. I also thought, maybe we could take the, maybe you could help me take the tarp off my 84 Dodge Charger and we can just like put the tarp over, Anima and just cover her up and hope that none of the neighbor kids go snooping around. That's probably a good option. But, what I ended up with is that we're just going to leave her out in the open for
steer into the skid
for Thad and his friends and your principal and those prudes on the Parent Teacher Association that kicked me out of the PTA for telling me that I can't wear the American flag tank top to the end of the year banquet, that it's not appropriate attire. We're gonna show them because we're gonna have Anima, your loving demon.
Let's not
mother.
Let's not make your problems with the PTA Andrew's problems.
There's
He
only
has a
room
lot
for
to
one
deal with.
self-insert here, and I've already taken it.
We're gonna show Thad and his friends every goddamn day who is out here to show them what's what and ready to punch-size their faces in the ether. Like I said, I got that tarp out back. If you could just help me real quick, we can try.
So we've got tarp. This is the answer.
I hate that I'm about
tarp.
to make this reference, but Andrew, I know you'll understand. It's like that one episode of Evangelion where the Ava's just like in the fucking woods, and they're just like, I don't know, we'll just leave it there until we bring a battery. It's cool.
Yep, that is a good reference. Holy shit.
It feels right.
All right. So Bad Dad says tarp. What does Rad Dad say?
Well, Andrew, I went and talked with administration at your school about the bullying problem. And I insisted
with
that
his 13 friends behind him.
Wait, why would you do that? Why would you make the problem worse, Rad Dad?
And I insisted that something be done, something over the top and dangerous be done in response to this issue.
Because nothing we've said already has been either over
Andrew,
the top or dangerous.
Nothing's quite as over the top or dangerous as what I'm suggesting. So Andrew, I would like you to meet your 13 new safety resource officers at your school who will be monitoring the halls and stopping any instances of bullying, rule breaking, or general tomfoolery in your school. So when they aren't doling out the harshness to school bullies, they can linger around and intimidate all of your classmates into compliance.
There's literally one just carrying around a trident, just pointing it at people.
Yep.
Who just put the Anima cosplay in the notes doc?
That's very
some animal, some horrid monster. The one made out of like gym floor
it looks
mats.
like a street shark.
Oh man.
Okay, so fuck.
I like to think they're all gonna dress the same way they do as you summon them. Like they're still the Knights of the Round.
Rad Dead says safety patrol officers. Okay.
They all have a shitty like police badge, like
A
Yeah.
sash.
It's
Like,
got to be a sash.
a
yeah.
sash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whichever one is the shittiest one has to watch the crossing guard each morning.
Mad Dad, can you beat Sash?
I can absolutely beat Sash because that's the best part, son. Carbuncle is literally an adorable stuffed animal. And knowing your reputation, absolutely no one will question you sneaking this little fur baby in and out of your locker. That is, as long as you don't summon the Carbuncle from Final Fantasy Tactics, which is, albeit cute, a roly-poly hell lizard from the Mesozoic era. And if that guy pops up, you should probably head to the biology teacher's room. Mr. Stiffin's class isn't too well attended, and he's owed you a favor ever since you offered to feed the class tarantula while he was on sabbatical finalizing his divorce papers. He'll probably stash it in a terrarium until it blips back to its own realm, or whatever the hell happens to these things.
And Matt, I don't know. I know, like, my high school, and I think everyone's high school, I think this is a universal experience. We all had that kid that tried to bring their pet to school and, like, hide it in their locker, and everyone found out about it. Everyone knows the difference between a stuffed animal and a real animal, and I don't think it's going to play out the way you think it is.
Okay, Kyle, your answer to 13 knights with medieval weapons
13 grown men in a school.
was sashes.
Every school has a safety resource officer, Matt. We
That's
just
what
have
we're trying to
13 of them.
defund, Kyle.
Not 13 40-year-old men.
Listen, Matt, as someone who gave an expert answer early on in this question, I gotta tell you, I don't think your answer is feasible or is going to work. But I do have an extra tarp that I can pull out for you.
How many do you have?
Well, let's see.
Just the two.
Just the two, though. Like, I'm gonna need that one back.
Gross. Okay, well, these were all subpar answers.
Answers.
Good.
These are definitely answers.
I think you mean amazing, incredible answers.
Yeah, I have to go finish my homework or whatever, so we're going to take a quick break. But before we do that, I'm going to reveal the super secret bonus question. And that super secret bonus question is, it's now a week later. A week has passed. The school principal has now called me and Brad into his office. He says he wants to have a one-on-one meeting. Fuck. He says he wants to have a one-on-one meeting with my parent. And since all three of you will be out on business that week, right now, you're going to have to help me disguise your chosen summon as my dad.
Oh no. It's all so bad.
we will get a fuck ton of tarps and trench coats after the break.
Oh.
Do you like video games? Do you like video essays about video games? Well, come on down to Around the Monitor. We've got video essays on topics ranging from what's it like to buy video games in China? How did Nintendo market the Game Boy in America? And why thousands of Venezuelans are using RuneScape to survive. Doesn't sound believable? Well, check it out and see for yourself. Just type youtube.com/c/aroundthemonitor. That's youtube.com/c/aroundthemonitor. Today.
All right, and we're back. Reminder, it is 1 week later. Been called into a parent-teacher conference for a one-on-one with my, quote, dad. Seeing as I'm on a Zoom call right now with the three of you who are presumably on business, at least that's what you told me last week when you left. I need your help in
When we went to go get scratchers.
yeah, you went to go get cigarettes, and here we are. I need your help in helping me convince the principal that your chosen summon is actually my dad.
So what's great about this is in the prompt you said that Brad is also there with us, or Chad, or whatever his name is.
Chad
so
Braddington.
So this all starts with Anima, the 10-story tall nightmare hellspawn, just sizing up Chad. So Chad's not going to say shit. He knows what's up, but he's on our side right now because he's been dragged to hell before.
He's probably had all of the life force taken from him.
Yeah, he's a husk of what he once was. So my jaundice-ridden, iron-lunged child, who I loved so dearly, we have Anima, right? 10 stories tall, hellish nightmare beast. We are going to throw a 2-scale comical mustache on her as a starter. That's just the starter. I think that's a good way to like throw him off the trail.
It's definitely a good first step.
Yeah. I don't wear a lot of hats, but I feel like a hat is also going to be necessary in this scenario. Preferably the more comical, the better.
Well, Matt wears a lot of hats. We'll tell him it's Mad Dad.
I feel like just a large trucker hat that across the top says "Born This Way," and I'm not sure why that specifically, but I feel like that just really like it raises some questions, and it's gonna throw your principal. So anyway, since Anima's arms are already chained up to restrain it, presumably so it doesn't murder everything above the surface, we will easily be able to slip on a 10-story tall version of my American flag cutoff t-shirt because it doesn't have to put arms through the holes. So that's also going to help sell this bit. Now, I know what you're going to say, and that is you're worried about getting her inside the school for this meeting.
I'm worried about getting her inside the school.
Yep, exactly. So, due to the current pandemic, we need to meet outside anyway. We need to be outside for this meeting. So that already solves that just for everyone's safety for so many reasons. We need to be outside. And if, and it's a big if, but if there are any questions as to why I am suddenly 10 stories tall in a nightmarish hellspawn that doesn't actually speak, you are just going to say that it's a medical condition and he or she has legally no right to ask any more questions. And that is the end of what it is. And at that point, I don't know what's going on with Brad's dad, but I assume I've also drugged them to hell with my spawn of Satan. So we're good.
Yeah.
There's no holes in this argument.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's airtight, just like Anima's non-existent mouth is sewn shut.
I am incredibly interested to hear about how big Kyle's trench coat is that these 13 men are all inside of.
Yeah, Kyle, how are we going to sneak these 13 middle-aged men into the
This
school?
is an airtight plan, Andrew. So
Sure.
you're in high school. At this point, it's 2020. A lot of things we're progressive on a lot of things, but like the kid with 3 dads is going to be known as the kid with 3 dads. Like, it's high school. It's an unfortunate reality.
Mm.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have all 13 of these guys come into the principal's office meeting, and you're just going to tell them they got the number wrong. Like, you didn't want to tell all these kids you had 3 dads because you were already getting made fun of.
It's a clerical error.
You're just going to tell the principal, yeah, these are my 13 dads. And they're not going to ask any questions because, again, you're already the kid known with you're already known as the kid with 3 dads. Like,
funniest thing.
And like, why wouldn't it actually be 13? Because we're a progressive family. Like, we grew from those 3. It's fine. And again, like Todd, if they ask too many questions, you just say, we'll just have them say like, oh, we feel like you're discriminating against our relationship, and shut any further questions down.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll just handle the principal as your 13 dads would, which is to say, probably shake him down a little bit, scare him a little bit, and get him to leave you alone.
Oh my god, I'm crying. In my head, I thought you were gonna do like a really involved Lindsay Lohan parent trap situation where they just kept leaving and coming in wearing the same shirt. Oh my god.
Oh, that's very good.
Hello, Mr. Principal. I'm here for my meeting. This is my harem of fathers.
This is my
These are my 13
This is my
dads.
entire football team of fathers here. My offensive line of dads.
Oh, fuck. Mad Dad.
God.
How am I going to convince my principal that my dad is a fox?
Yeah, Andrew, Have you ever seen 2006 remake movie starring Tim Allen, The Shaggy Dog?
Matt, if you fucking reference another Tim Allen movie on this podcast,
I swear to
I will
Christ.
stick my 13 dads on you.
Your dad is Tim Allen, Andrew. That's what's gonna happen. Much like in Disney 2006 movie The Shaggy Dog, where Tim Allen becomes a dog. We're just gonna have you walk into that office with Carbuncle, and then it's gonna turn into Tim Allen, because Tim Allen's looking for work these days. They're not rebooting Home Improvement anytime soon. Tim Allen is your dad.
Oh my god.
So wait, your plan is to just present Carbuncle undisguised and be like, my dad got turned into a fox? Or are you gonna like throw down a smoke grenade and have Tim Allen swap out with this fox?
Because that's unbelievable, Matt.
Because you got Tim Allen?
Well, so my original plan was the second one, but by Todd's logic, if you bring in a fox and say, this is my dad, it's a medical condition, I don't think they can ask any questions.
I see, and then the third option was that you were going to tell your principal or Andrew's principal in this scenario the same thing you just told us of like, well, have you seen the movie Shaggy Dog? Yeah, you've seen it, right? You seem like the kind of person that's seen it. Okay, so here's the deal. And that's it.
Shaggy Dog is actually one of the 3 DVDs the school owns for when a teacher's sick and they need to put something on last minute.
Wow. So those were some compelling ass arguments. He says while looking at his notes. So why don't you close up these absolute nightmares with some last minute thoughts here?
I'll tell you just real easily my frail, recently deceased small son that the best who died of malnourishment on the Oregon Trail. You know, the best things that a dad, I've always believed this, can pass along to their child is their love, their 1984 Dodge Charger,
Sure.
and a demonic hellspawn that is the size of a skyscraper made of pure nightmares. And that is what I'm here to do for you today. All in the name of punishing your bully.
It says it on the coffee mug that you've got holding up right now
Yeah.
on our Zoom call.
Because I Zoom call you because I'm not near you.
Right, correct. Rad Dad.
Look, son, I got 13 of my very good Elk Lodge buddies here. They are ready to dole out some medieval style justice on your bullies. Just point them at them.
That's why we call him Rad Dad. Mad Dad.
Out of these 3 solutions that have been presented to you, my boy, by your fathers, us, there is exactly one of them that your puny, frail body can handle. And it is this cute little animal I found in the woods. It is not a 10-foot demon monster, nor is it 13 grown men. You do not harness the power, my very small son, to handle anything other than this cute cat dog thing.
Thank you, Mad Dad. And as upset as always. Well, we've gone through a lot. I think we've all experienced something as an extended family. Let's close on this Full House style moment with some good vibes.
Yeah, so I don't know shit about summons other than Ifrit, Bahamut, and then there was like a giant man in Final Fantasy XIV that I think I saw the summon of. So I didn't know.
That might have been Ramu.
Yeah, that sounds right. He comes out of the ground and he also punches, I think. Anyway, I didn't know anything about summons going into this other than the aforementioned 2.5 that I named. So, Kyle, the fact that you chose the one that was, I summoned a bunch of dudes who brought swords and they're gonna mess you up bad.
And a trident.
is so good because, like, I would have never guessed that the Knights of the Round are, you know, a summon. You think, like, they're always these giant magical things. So the fact that it's like, oh, it's these mythical knights who are gonna murder you. They're just here to murder you. Not
in a 2.5 minute long cutscene.
Yeah, where they each individually are going to hurt you. I mean it when I say I think that it's not 3 dads, it's 13 dads. Maybe the funniest joke that has happened on this podcast. Yeah. And that's amazing. Matt, I love that you did not drink the same Kool-Aid that I did on my summon. You actually went the other way, which is probably good because we didn't need two giant hell monsters. I like the idea of I've brought my summon to school in my backpack so it can help fight my demons, or my at least my bullies. That seems it seems much more realistic for the type of anime that Andrew is presenting. Whereas mine is literally a Jaeger outside the window poking its one good eye in the window. So I thought that was a very, very good, maybe not traditional Final Fantasy summon choice. That was excellent. Also, you brought Tim Allen to our podcast again.
I didn't even. I thought Shaggy Dog, and I was like, oh, that's that movie that somebody turns into a dog. And I Googled it and was like, oh fuck, it's a Tim Allen movie again.
You know, it could have also been. It could have been Dan Aykroyd. Who knows?
If Matt was a Final Fantasy summon, his signature move would be to reference Tim Allen movies.
I mean, give it a couple years, and that's the type of movies that Dwayne the Rock Johnson will be doing. So
I mean, he already did the Tooth Fairy.
Tooth
Todd.
Fairy.
Yeah, he's done a lot. Escape from Witch Mountain. He's done plenty of family-friendly movies.
Anyway, those were two
Go ahead.
really good options. I'm happy to be here doing this thing right now.
So Todd, you brought the video game protagonist solution, and Matt, you brought the anime protagonist solution. And I like them both very much. I very much enjoy the idea of a 15-year-old boy fed up with his school bully summoning his demon mom and her witch cat dog body to just drag their bully to hell. And Matt, I also very much like the idea of sneaking in an adorable fox with a red gem on its head in your backpack, so that when your bully tries to punch you, you get to play the best game of stop hitting yourself with them because you reflected their punches back at them. And I know that's not right, Andrew, and I'm going to let Matt keep his lore because it was fun.
It fits the argument, yes.
Yes.
I feel like my selection was this story is a single movie with one big climax cinema moment, and Matt's answer was this is a series and we have to continuously keep this going.
What it is Matt is episode 1 of the anime having to deal with this problem, and Todd is like episode 300 of the anime having to deal with the same problem.
Yeah, this was a wild ride. I went into prepping for this episode fully intending to Google something along the lines of like top 10 Final Fantasy summons, or, insert listicle here. And the first thing that I Googled...
Kyle is pointing at himself.
That's what I
For
did.
those of you who aren't on this Zoom call.
The first thing that I Googled was, what is a Final Fantasy summon? And that led me down the gaping hole.
Yeah, and
that
you
is-
lost 3 insanity points.
Yeah, that's
Insanity points.
exactly what happened. And I couldn't come back. I didn't even think to Google, give me a listicle of Final Fantasy summons, because I was too lost in the sauce trying to figure out which way was up. But man, Todd, you picked the answer that, had I known it existed, I probably would have gone with, because 10-foot or 10-story hell demon monster with the same questionable underground parts as a Diglett is something that I'm very into. And Kyle, man, what a great answer. Shows up with 13 Knightses. That's so good.
My dad brought his friends, actually.
And to echo Todd, no, I don't have 3 dads, I have 13 dads is the funniest shit I've ever heard. That's
Oh
so
my God.
good.
It's very, very good. Okay, well, I've done with my homework. No thanks to any of you 3 for helping me with my homework. And I've come to my decision. Now, I've thought a lot about this, and I want to. I've made my decision based on some of the medium that I love so much, i.e., Final Fantasy. And the one thing about Final Fantasy that really holds true in all the games is, no matter what planet they're on, no matter what god they're trying to topple, they always win. They always save the world using the power of friendship. And there was one argument today that really embodies the power of friendship. It's definitely not Todd. It's
Well,
100%
Todd.
not Bad Dad. Bad Dad didn't get it. Bad Dad won with cat dog like skyscraper, but Bad Dad's coming in distant third. So I'm really torn, because I think Knights of the Round is definitely the best answer. However, I'm gonna give this to Mad Dad Cole.
No.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm going to tell you why.
Oh my God,
because
yes.
while Knights of the Round embodies the power of friendship, everything that Matt did today as a person defines the power of friendship to this podcast. because there's a couple things that really just warmed my heart today. One was seeing Matt screenshot just like the entire Final Fantasy wiki and try to pick it apart soup to nuts. I've been playing these motherfucking games since I was 12. Like that's a lot of years of practice. Like I didn't learn theoretical physics in a day. That really affected me. And for the fact that Matt completely organically referenced Neon Genesis Evangelion today.
That was good.
So I'm not giving it to Carbuncle, but I'm giving it to Matt Cole. as I will summon Matt Cole as my Final Fantasy summon to fight Chad Brad Thaddington Jr.
Andrew, I've got 13 friends who have a problem with that outcome.
That's fine. You can take your 13 middle-aged men with weapons to the high school and see what happens. Well, with that, we're gonna leave you with that picture. So thank you all for listening to Debate This. You can follow along with the argument on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Debate This Cast. And one thing, there was an actual right answer to this argument, and I'm not going to reveal it on this episode. Anyone who's listening, if you DM us, hit us up on any of our socials with the right answer, I will reward you with a Final Fantasy flavor text.
Oh, wait.
I haven't.
But
told
that's
the other
punishment to
guys
the rest
this.
of us.
Yeah.
I haven't told anyone else this. So if you can hit us up with the correct answer, what I would have answered this episode with, then you'll get that free Final Fantasy flavor text. But until then, if you want to commission your own Final Fantasy flavor text or other flavor text, you can actually look us up on patreon.com/debatethiscast. We hope to we'd love to do these more. $50 one time. I know that sounds like a lot. Patreon will ask you for a monthly donation. You by no means have to do a monthly donation. It's just $50 one time. We will research literally anything, given our sanity. But there's other things you can do to engage with our Patreon. We've got a lot of content on there. We've got our premium episodes detailing the exploits of Forbogorf and the Office drones, our Office-themed Dungeons and Dragons. And now you're saying, sure, every podcast has a Dungeons and Dragons. This one is different, I promise. Hey, stay there. Don't, where are you going? This one is very different. We are fighting, instead of using swords and magic, we're using staplers and Lenovo ThinkPads. So there's your sales pitch. And we've got other great content. You can also check out our Discord by going through the Patreon. That said, until next time, I am Andrew Henderson.
I'm Todd. My love comes in the form of nightmare punches in hell, Thomas.
I'm Kyle Rad Dad Harper.
And I'm Matt. This one has actually been for Daddy Cole.
We're saying thanks for debating with us, and if you think we're wrong, then you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.